Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Career Dive podcast. I'm your host, Anna Believa, and I recording this episode from Colombia once again. So if the quality is different or if you hear the birds outside, that's why. But I will be back in my home office in Toronto, Canada pretty soon. But I just want to say I have been having the best time this time around on this remote winter trip. This year we are in Colombia and we just are loving it so much. And the last week and a bit, we have been pretty remote. We've been enjoying some remote beaches, and I am just feeling so grateful that this is the career that I have built that supports the lifestyle that I want to live, that supports the flexibility, the location flexibility that I have and that my partner also has, that supports also the financial flexibility to be able to do that. So I've been reflecting a lot on that. And I'm just, again, so grateful that I have been so intentional in my career and in my life with what I want and really building that and going after that and making that happen for myself and not being afraid of taking bold action. And my friends, this is what really this episode is all about, is taking bold action. So here is what inspired this episode. We talk to a lot of job seekers, both my team and myself, every single day. And when people come to us, they come to us because they are unhappy with where they are in their career. Oftentimes, most times, they don't love necessarily what they do. Oftentimes, they are not in a good place. So maybe they have a toxic boss or just are in a toxic work environment altogether. Oftentimes, they are either just flat out underpaid, tens of thousands of dollars every single year, or oftentimes they know that they should be paid more and maybe they're not really struggling financially, but they know that they are missing out, again, on tens of thousands of dollars from where they should be. But again, they're not taking bold action. So, my friend, if that's you, so you know there needs to be a major change in your career and your life, but you're either not acting on it altogether, and we'll talk about that in just a second, or maybe you are trying to act on it and you're clicking on easy apply here and there, and if you have been listening to the podcast, you know already that that is not going to take you to that dream role that you love that pays six figures. So you are taking some action, but you deep down, or maybe actually just fully know that it's not really taking you to where you want to go. So if that's you, then this episode is for you. Now, before we dive deeper into this episode, I want to remind you that if you have been looking at the Start Canada program, so my signature coaching program where you and I side by side get clarity on what this dream next step is for you and make it happen without the stress and endless online applications. If you have been looking at the program, do join us because the program is going up in cost on March 1st. So I believe the day when this episode comes out will be your last day to join us. So if you, again, have been eyeing the program, the time to act is now. For the first time in over 3 years, we are increasing the price. We have fully elevated the content of the program with what's working in today's market. We have added a lot more coaching so that you see the results and move a lot faster. So join us, and I cannot wait to see where this new chapter brings you. All right, my friend. So let's talk about the two groups of people that I have been noticing when I talk to mid-career ambitious job seekers like yourself. Group number one, you are not happy where you are in your career, but you're not taking action. So you're kind of waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for that right time. So an example that comes to mind. So for example, someone my team and I talked to a couple of months ago, she is sure that she doesn't want to do what she is doing now. She is unhappy. She is really unsure what the right role for her is, but she has some experience in project management. So she has been pursuing project management certification. So she's doing PMP. And she's not really taking much action in her job search altogether because she feels like she should focus on this certification first. And at the same time, she's also not even sure if she wants to do project management altogether. So she's really just delaying really taking that bold action and actually getting clear on what's right for her and going after that big new role. So I see this quite often. You're just waiting for, again, the right time after, you go on a trip, or after you get certification, after you get more education, after you buy a house, etc., etc. So you're just waiting and not acting. And the second group that I often see is you are taking some action, but you're not taking bold action. Here's what I mean by that. I talked to someone, I believe last week. Her name is Nandini. She is a freaking superstar. She is a product manager. She is making high six figures, just very accomplished and established professional. But her boss recently changed, or her boss's boss has recently changed. So everything that she does, the whole environment and what she is working on has now completely shifted. So she is very unhappy. She feels that she's not seen. She feels like she's not challenged. She's not valued. But again, she is a superstar. So that is making her unhappy, but she's not making bold moves. What she has been doing over the last couple of months is applying for some jobs here and there that she sees online. And again, that's not big, bold action that will take you or her to this big next role where she is seen and she is valued and she is working on those things that she loves and making the type of impact that she's craving and still making those high six figures. So while I know that hitting the easy apply button on LinkedIn is very, very tempting, it's right there. You are, lounging on your couch after work, you're tired, and you just hope that maybe that will solve everything for you. But again, you and I both know that it won't. That when you have a big goal and you have that high six figure role that you love kind of goal, you have to take a bigger action than just, hey, hopefully this works out. All right, so if either of those groups applies to you, you are going to love this episode. Now, I want to share a bit of a personal story with you. Some of you already know that when I was a little bit earlier in my career, I was in the CPA world. So in the accounting world, Big Four, and I was just not really challenged or excited about what I did. I didn't really care about the subject matter. So I needed a change, but I didn't really know what was next for me. And I really took most of 2016 really casually looking at what's posted. I did do networking here and there, but it was very, very slow and casual. And guess what? I was not making any progress. And at the same time, looking back, I was also very much underpaid. I was easily underpaid 20, 30K at that point. So I have spent, let me think. So from January until probably August, so that is 8 months, I have spent all of that time really, really casually doing my job search and doing my exploration around what's next. And then I've shared the story before, but what I ended up doing was going to Toronto. So I lived in Vancouver at that time, and I booked time off in October. I booked a week off and I went to Toronto, and I spent the full week networking. So meeting with people, and I started planning those meetings and those conversations and setting them up in August. So it took me a couple of months of those reach outs to set up enough conversations. But those conversations in October, so October 2016, A, immediately started leading to interviews, but B, really helped me realize, you know what? Yes, now I know, now that I'm taking more action, I know that A, I want to change industries and I'm definitely getting out of the accounting world, but B, that I wanted to make geographical move. So what I did was I came back to Vancouver. So that's October 2016. I gave my notice at work. I gave notice for my apartment, and I just made that bold decision that enough is enough. Enough of this leisurely job search. It's been already by that point over 9-10 months. So enough is enough. I'm taking bold action and I'm making moves. And it was so scary because I knew that as of January 1st, 2017, I had no job. I had nowhere to live. And I had actually very limited savings at that time. And you guys know I have lived abroad most of my life. So it was just me. So there was no one to rely on, no one who could help me, no parents to move back with. I was single. So it really was just me. And it was really scary. But early January 2017, I moved to Toronto. And this big, bold move really pushed me to make things happen and really start moving a lot faster. So I started my new role in mid-March 2017. So it took me pretty much 2 months to get clarity on, okay, what's next for me? And that's when I transitioned, as some of you already know, I transitioned into consumer goods. That's when I was working with brands like Nordstrom and Anthropologie and working with designers. So that's when I transitioned into that career because I have identified that that is my next step. But it also only took me 2 months to get that clarity and get that role. And I am telling you, that would not have happened if I continued to leisurely job search from across the country and trying to leisurely make this move happen. And I remember thinking that, well, I was taking steps before. I was doing some networking. I was looking at different roles and companies that whole year prior, but I was not taking big action and big moves. And I was not really pushing myself to, listen, you know what? I am missing out on money. I am missing out on fulfillment. I am going to figure this out, and I'm going to figure this out fast. And in the Start Canada program, we've seen this time and time again that within a few months, oftentimes within 2 to 3 months, you have those same results that I have seen where you get clarity and you get to that next level role. So just wanted to share the story because, my friends, sometimes you need to get, or really to go to that next level, you do need to get uncomfortable. You do need to take bold action that is big and scary. It doesn't mean quitting your job and moving across the country, but it needs to be bigger than waiting, and it needs to be bigger than just clicking on easy apply and hoping. So now I want to talk about the real cost of staying stuck, staying where you are, of literally clicking on easy apply button and not taking bold action. And the first cost is the financial cost. Because I want for you to think about this. Everyone that we talk to who ends up working with us, anyone that we talk who is actively job searching or is thinking about job searching right now, tells us that they're going for 20, 30, 50K pay increase. And I want to put that into perspective for you, because if you are either underpaid right now by 20, 30, 50K, or you're looking for that increase, maybe you're not exactly underpaid, but you know that you are missing out on that money. So every month you wait, every month you stay stuck, every month you're not taking bold action, that's lost income. Because again, let's put this into perspective. A 20K salary increase is extra $1,667 a month. A 30K salary increase is an extra $2,500 a month. And by the way, that was my salary jump when I moved from Vancouver to Toronto, got into the new industry. I got a 30K salary increase. And honestly, that was life-changing. That extra $2,500 a month was life-changing. A 50K salary increase, which by the way, is not unheard of. And we have had dozens and dozens of people in the Start Canada program get those types of salary increases. 50K salary increase is an extra $4,167 per month. That is life-changing. This money you can be using for travel. That was where I really invested my additional income, but you can be using it for travel, for savings. That was another big thing for me with that move to Toronto. I finally started saving and saving pretty aggressively and really finally seeing real improvement in the level of savings I had. And it wasn't really anymore as stressful to look at my bank accounts because I knew that I had my own back. And if anything were to happen, I'm good. So you can be using this money for travel, savings, investments, or honestly, just breathing room in your life. I see this quite often as well with job seekers that we talk to, where they live in big, expensive cities and their salary and having a family, their salary doesn't go very far. And they feel like they're really just living paycheck to paycheck. And again, something really needs to change. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, and you're listening to this podcast, I know that you are an ambitious professional. So something needs to change. You really need to make big changes in your career and life this year. So I have a bit of a reality check for you, my friend. So every month, you're not moving forward with your job search. You're not moving forward in your career in that search for that next level opportunity that pays more, that you love. It quite literally means that you're working for less than you deserve. So I want for you to ask yourself what you're doing right now, whether it is the example that I shared where someone was just focused on getting more certifications and not actually doing job search, or clicking on easy apply button, what you're doing right now, the actions that you're taking towards that next opportunity right now, is it really moving you forward? In fact, if you think about yourself 6 months from now, would what you're doing right now take you to this next level opportunity? Because if the answer is not, then you need to get help. You need to get the support to help you get there. And whether you do that with me, whether you do that with someone else, but I encourage you and I'm pushing you and I'm asking you to really think about, would what I'm doing now get me to where I want to get to in 6 months? Or will I continue to lose on thousands of dollars every single month? All right, the second piece that I want to talk about here is the emotional and mental cost of staying where you are, staying in a misaligned job. So it can be, as one of my students, actually this happens quite often where my students come from environments that don't feel values aligned anymore. So maybe they're selling plastic, so they work for a petroleum company. That's one of my clients right now, Carmen. Or they're in tech and they're doing tech sales and they're making really good money. But again, they just don't really care about what they're selling. So staying in that misaligned job just doesn't feel good. But it also can look like just daily stress and burnout and frustration. And that's the people that we talk to who are in a very toxic environment. And you guys know I experienced a very, very toxic boss. And for me, that meant physically I was getting sick. I had a lot of self-doubt and I was really just hating my job and my life. And I was questioning myself. I was second guessing my worth. And this is what I often hear from you guys as well. When you are in that toxic environment, that way, do I actually have what it takes? Is it me? Am I the problem here? Do I actually have the skills that I think I do have? So I have, and again, when I think of that time, I just want to hug my younger self because it really costed me health, and both, again, physical and mental health, and just mental energy, because the amount of mental energy that I wasted on questioning myself and second guessing myself, it was exhausting. And that also comes with the Sunday scaries, with Dirty Mondays. I've talked about this on the podcast before, when I was in a toxic environment and in a job that really, really was affecting me. I would get ready for work. I would sit down on my couch, cry for 5 minutes, and then go to work. And then even if it's not as bad and as toxic for you, but if you're feeling unfulfilled, that all adds up over time. And you guys know how much time you spent at work and how staying in a role that's either misaligned or making you feel unfulfilled or making you feel stressed and burnout, how that's trickling into other areas of your life. Because for me, it looked like I stopped seeing my friends. I stopped pretty much working out, even though if you follow me on Instagram, you know that working out is a huge part of my life. I stopped cooking. I was doing mostly takeouts. And again, that's not, that wasn't very healthy, but I just really needed that, that hit of positive emotions for a few minutes when I was eating that takeout because I was just so unhealthy. And again, I think it's really hard to even put a price on, for me, what I went through, that emotional and mental cost of staying in that type of job. And I bet that if you think about it, it's really hard for you to put a number on that too, because we've talked about kind of the financial cost and real numbers. But when you think about your mental health, emotional health, physical health, and also missing out on actually enjoying what you do and fulfillment, that's big. So I want for you to think about, what if instead of channeling your energy into burnout and stress and frustration in a job that you know is not right for you, what if instead you channel that energy into leveling up, into learning those job searching skills that you already know, if you've been listening to the podcast, that you need to learn to go to the next level in your career. So that is resilience, mindset, confidence, getting clarity, networking skills, personal branding skills, learning how to market yourself in interviews. Those are all skills, and you need to level up in those skills to go to that next level, to get that 50K pay increase. So what if instead of being burned out and stressed, that's where you spend your energy on? And one final thing I'll say here is, based on my own experience going through a really toxic environment, and I've seen this with my clients as well, it is, I believe, pretty much impossible to get to this next level version of you by yourself when you are right now burned out. So I can't stress this enough. This is the time when you need the right tools and strategy the most. All right. And the final piece that I want to talk about here is the opportunity cost. Because the dream role that you love, where you are valued and challenged and you connect with the subject matter, with what you actually do, and you make the impact that you're craving, and where you're paid high six figures, that job is not waiting for you. Because those types of roles are filled by people who act fast, who are not just sitting on the couch after work clicking on easy apply, but people who get themselves known to those employers months ahead, who build a personal brand so that they are a no-brainer choice for those employers, who have been building their confidence, resilience, networking skills, marketing skills, all of the things that we talk about on this podcast. So when the opportunity is there, they are the no-brainer choice and they're ready to seize it. And when you think about, again, the opportunity cost of not learning those job searching skills, not taking that big, bold action, every month that you are not moving forward in your job search, in your career, you're pushing back the lifestyle, the income, the freedom that you want. And this is something that you guys know is important to me, because that is the life that I have and the career that I have built for myself. And I want that for you too. Because if, let's say, you take extra 6 months to take this big, bold action. So whether it is actually now starting your job search, and again, not just clicking on easy apply, but really going deeper with your job search. Or you're thinking, you know what, I'll keep trying. Maybe it will work out. I'll keep trying for the next 6 months. And then if it still doesn't work out in 6 months, then I'll get help. So if you wait for 6 months to take that bold action, you could have already been 6 months into your dream role and earning extra 10, 20, 40K, 50K by now. And not just earning more, but actually enjoying your job, enjoying your life. I've shared this, I think, on the podcast a few episodes ago, where I was interviewing a client who got her dream role almost a year ago. It just took us a while to do a video testimonial together. And when we were catching up, she was just glowing, and she was telling me how much she loves what she does and how much her life has changed and how she's buying an apartment now, and she's just really enjoying where she is in her life. And the final thing I want for you to think about here is that the job market moves fast. So if you are not someone who is proactively building your brand, who is proactively building your network, who is building your mindset and resilience and really leveling up to that next level version of yourself, someone else is. All of my clients in the Start Canada program are, and they will land those jobs that you want ahead of you because they are doing it proactively. And someone I think about often here is my client, Adriana. She really was so hesitant around investing in herself and in her job search and in her future. When we met, she was at a big tech company for over 20 years as a project manager. And she knew, because she's been there for a very long time, she knew she was very, very much underpaid. She wasn't really enjoying what she was doing anymore. She wasn't really challenged. And she set on that for actually years. And she kept coming back to me for months and months because it was so scary to say yes to yourself and to put faith in herself, really, that she can level up, that it is possible, and to say yes to making big, bold moves like building your brand and your network and learning how to market yourself. But once she did, in the next 4 months, she transitioned from tech into consumer goods. She transitioned to staples, which is something that she really wanted to do because she wanted to work with kind of more real products than software. She really wanted to see kind of some physical evidence of what she was doing. She got into a role where she got to travel, which isn't something that she really ever did in her career. And she really was craving that. And the biggest thing on top of all of that is that she got 50K more. And that is extra 4K per month in her pocket. Just imagine what saying yes to herself and making that big, bold move has done for her life. And Adriana honestly could have been continuing to wait and miss out on this, all of this completely. And I know that saying yes to yourself, investing in yourself is scary and can be scary. But I also want for you to ask yourself, what is the alternative? Because the alternative is you continuing to stay stuck where you are, you continuing to miss out on income, you continuing to stay stressed and unfulfilled. So I want for you to keep asking yourself, if I don't do this, if I don't say yes to myself, what is the alternative? So my friend, join me in the Start Canada program or not. But I want for you to, after listening to this episode, to take bold action, but on yourself. Get help and support on your journey so that you do level up this year. You do get into a role that pays 20, 30, 50K more. You do get a role that you truly love and enjoy. And if you do it with myself by your side, I would love, love, love to help you. Because if you are really serious about getting to that next level, this is your moment. You already know what waiting is costing you. Just final reminder that the price for the Start Canada program is going up at midnight tonight. So it's going up March 1st. And this is your last chance to join us at this current rate. So if you've been waiting for the sign, for a sign, this is it. So the only thing standing between you and the career you actually want is taking that first step. All right, my friend, that's it for today. I will see you, hear you in the next episode. Bye for now.